Let's make together this beautiful ring around a Navette bezel. And here we have this lovely ring that is made with a bezel around a Navette, a 7x15 Navette, and then with a peyote band for the ring band. We are going to use 11 O's and 15 O's and the usual Nymo thread and a beading needle. I must admit that this Navette 7x15, which is very narrow, it was very difficult to find a solution for it, and I could come up only with this technical solution that I am showing you today after I have done lots and lots and lots of versions. So let's get beading. I start by picking up 30 11 O's. These ones that I have here are the preciosas, and by the look of them they are quite cylindrical in shape. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and here is how we check if is good for our size. Okay, now we make a circle. With the needle coming out of the next 11 O, we make 6 peyote stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With this we have finished one side. Now we go through 2 seed beads that will be one point of the Navette. And we move the thread through the next seed bead, and we make other 6 peyote stitches for the other side of the Navette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And here we have the other two seed beads for the other point of the navette, and we go through them. And step up as well. Now we move the thread from the exterior towards the inner circle. And we continue peyote stitch. And here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. With this one, we go through the last bead that sticks out on this first side. So it looks like this. We pick up 1 seed bead and we go through 2, the ones that we left for the point of the navette, and now pick up a seed bead and continue the peyote on the other side. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With this one we get at the last seed bead that sticks out on this side as well. We pick up 1 seed bead and skip 1 and go through 2, the ones that were left for making the point, in one go. And we pick up 1 seed bead, go through the next seed bead that sticks out in the interior circle, inner circle. We make sure that the thread tension is good, pick up 1, and here we step up. Now using 15 O's, we bead one row of plain peyote in between the sticking out beads from the previous row. This one should start together. To reduce the size. And here we have the last stitch, so we have to step up, going through those two seed beads, the 11O and 15O in one go. Okay. Here we are. And now we bead together the final row for the inner circle. So now is quite clear where we have the point. So this is at the point we have one seed bead right at the point at two on the sides. So here we have the last peyote stitch on the side before that three seed beads at the top, and we just go through all of them, including the 11 O's, and come up at the third one. Okay, now on this side just simple peyote with 15 O. And here we are at the point 1, 2, 3. Here we have the last peyote stitch, and we go through the 11O, the 15O, 11O, and come out at the 15O. And now one peyote stitch, and here we have the last peyote stitch of the side. This means that we have to step up. And here we are. Before moving the thread on the other side, let's check how our navette sits in the bezel. Oh, that's a fiddly piece of work, and it's like this. Okay, let's make sure that the thread is well tensioned. And now we move it on the other side. With our navette face down, we can start the peyote around with 15 ohms. Here you can see that we are at the top where we have skipped 2 in one go, and we make one peyote stitch going through both of them again in one go. And then we continue with our single peyote stitching. Here again we go through those 2 that are at the top, and finish our row of peyote stitch on the other side of the navette. Here at the last stitch we step up. And now gently we pull the threads as you can see. Even at that step the navette is still not well secured, so now we go and we make another row, and we must make sure that After this row we will cover the entire back. Here we turn around without adding the two at the top. We are not adding any bead, and then we continue our peyote stitch. And here we are again at the top where we have 250 nodes. We will go through them in one go. So the last peyote stitch, we anchor it in this 50 node, and then we go right away at the next one without adding any beads. And here we finish the second side. This one is the last one, so we step up. And now we try to shape, to make sure that the beads sit in a nice manner, that the points of the navette go into the points that we have made with the stitch. And after this is nicely shaped, we cover the back of the bezel. And for this we just connect opposite sticking out beads with 50 nodes. So like this. Go through next one. Add 2. And then again 2. And pick up 2, and then again go through this one, up 1, and in this space I would add only 1 to make sure that the work is actually well covered. Okay, so this is the back of the bezel, and this is the front of the bezel. If you need to shape a little more, so this is, and here we have the bezel. finished with the back secured. We can start to work on the peyote band for the ring. For the peyote band, we move the thread on the side. Now depends on how wide you want to make it. So we are going to use the beads, if these are the 11 O's that stick out. We are going to use the ones right under. Now let's see how we can turn this up. So like this, here we would have 1, 2 and 3. So let's start by positioning the needle here. I think it's a good position considering the length of the bezel. So here we have 1 seed bead, and we pick up 1, go through the second one, and we pick up 1 and go through the third one. And like this we will have 1, 2 and 3. I think it's quite okay. And we go back 1, 2. So let's say that we can use 4 beads wide, 1 and 2, at this point we can go back to reinforce this connection. Okay, and we can work the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fast method, because I believe that the fast method is giving much nicer look of the one, 2, 3 and 4 we pick up, go from bottom up, and then we connect the seed beads and go out through this one. So for the first peyote, being a 4 beads one, we pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 beads. The thread comes out the bead, and then we go through the bottom one from bottom up, Then the second one goes through the sticking out seed bead from the previous row, and now we go from the bottom up through the first one. And I am really not sure if the method is faster, but for a peyote band, in my opinion, gives much better results, especially if you don't have the delicas. The band is more 2, 3, and 4 looks nicer. Okay, so we connect the second with the one that sticks out, take the thread to the right on top of the third one and go from the bottom up through the next one. And you can make this band until you connect it here, but in my experience the band looks better if you start a little bit the same way you have started here, a few rows, and then zip them up, because somehow when you try to zip up the band to the other side of the bezel, it really doesn't look nice at all. We are trying to find the image in the mirror, and here we have one and the second. It seems to me that is too high, so I will start with one bead lower than the current position. So let's start from here. And here we have 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. Yes, looks okay. And another 1 and 2. And after we have the length of the band that we need around the finger, we connect by zipping up these two parts of the band. So to zip them up, we must make sure that the beads match like in a puzzle. And here you can clearly see, if you have a look, how neat and ordered is this side that we've worked with the fast peyote method, and how this side that is looked with one bead at a time looks like, even if we try our best in the one by one method, it won't look as neat as in the fast method. So let's say that this would be enough, and I'm just showing you how to zip them up. So here we have a sticking out bead, and then in a reverse. So we come out from there, connect with the first sticking out bead, go through the first sticking out bead from the other side, and then the last sticking out bead from the first side, and then connect with the last sticking out bead from here, and at the end we pull the threads and they will zip up. And we go back through the beads again, and here we have our very small, in this case, band that looks very good if it's not done over if it's not zipped up over the face. Okay, well, mistakes happen. It would be easy to undo and to redo it. Okay. And here we have our mini ring, which is actually looking like this. Okay. Thank you for watching. I must admit that this is a quite difficult bezel to work. This 7x15 Navette, mainly because it's very small, it's very narrow, but it's really beautiful. Thank you for watching again, and see you with our next tutorial. Ciao ciao!